So this happened again. And it's once again a proof that you are a second-class citizen if you are a man, a straight man, especially a straight white man in America or any other Western country. I'm so glad that I moved away after living in America for 30 years. I now live in Southeast Asia, specifically in Thailand, for almost 3 years. But, this is not the first time, but one of my friends told me that he spent a night in jail. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what for? Like, what? He's like, domestic violence. I'm like, dude, what? I've known you for like many, many years, almost 2 decades. You hit a girl? He's like, I did not. I said, wait, what happened? And then he proceeded to not only describe the story, he actually had a video of the security camera of that story where, it was in his home and the girl started bitching about something. And then it's escalated because he wasn't having it. He was just kind of like brushing her off. Then she started hitting him. Then she started hitting him more and more and more. And then he had to defend himself, right? By kind of grabbing her, pushing her away. Well, guess what happened? She called the police. Guess who's got the bruises from self-defense? It's her. And even though there's a video of that, he still got arrested. He still has a court date. A prosecutor looks like is going to proceed to file charges against him, the victim, in a domestic violence suit, which means you know what that means, right? And the aggressor, the woman, goes free and essentially gets the revenge that she kind of created. Now, I watched that video and there were a few, I know this never happened to me before. Again, I don't live in America. This is where men become victims because they act like victims from day one, because majority of Western men are simps. So by the way, when I say men, I really don't mean men. I mean humans with penises, or as I call them, species formerly known as men, because the men are no longer men in America. So when a girl starts raising her voice or accusing you of something or complaining or bitching or nagging, you stop talking to her. There is no more future with this girl. I don't care what the relationship is. As a matter of fact, women who enter in any type of relationship with you should know that that is absolute boundary. You raise your voice, even once at me, you're out. I mean, if you punch me, you're out. And even if you nag and bitch and complain, not for me. You are out of my life once and for all. But if you allow that almost from the very beginning, a lot of times the first conversation, I hear people having first conversations, including me with women, where they already kind of trying to manipulate you and kind of demean you and just kind of like step on you right away. Most men just take it and submit to them. There are very few men like me who tell the girl off and tell her to fuck off. Again, because I can. I have just too many choices of women for me to put up with any bullshit. But even if I didn't, because your other choice is still keeping your self-respect, where, when you're a simp, you don't get to keep your self-respect. You don't get to have boundaries. You don't even get to have your balls. They're usually handed over to the purse of the girl, which you will probably carry like a little bitch around the mall. So, this is where the problem starts. When a man is a simp and he essentially starts acting like a victim from day one, he will become a victim because, women are aggressive human beings and violent, just like men are. Don't be fooled what you've been taught in school and by your female, relatives, whether it's your mother, grandmother, or whatever. Women are more violent than ever and sometimes way more brutal than men. So if you're going to allow them to make those steps to brutality and abuse against you, they absolutely will. And this was no different. So, and look at the consequences. Now, would this ever happen here in Thailand or Southeast Asia? Fuck no. Fuck. I mean, the girl wouldn't even call police because she knows the police would, even if they would show up, they would laugh at her and then leave, and maybe we'll have a beer first with officers. But in America, it doesn't matter. You're a straight man, you're guilty. Even if there's a video camera, you're guilty. This is why being a simp, being submissive to women, not having boundaries, a lot of times leads into domestic violence, you being an actual victim, and then you go into jail and getting arrested and so forth and so forth. America as a country is not a country for you if you're a straight man. If you're a white straight man, it is not for you. There's zero chance in hell I would ever go back and live in America. I don't give a shit what's happening in the country I live in. I'll move to the moon before I move to America or Great Britain or whatever the Western countries that essentially allowed it. And you motherfuckers allow this as men. Stop voting for politicians who tell you about the issues you don't really care about, transgender or fucking immigrants, or, vote for those politicians who will give you your rights back and your dignity back as a man in America. And it ain't Kamala Harris and it ain't Donald Trump. Neither one of them. We need a new set of politicians who will actually have men on their side. You need that. I don't need that. I already live in Thailand, though I will probably vote again in the next election. Not that's probably going to help in any way. So yeah, that's happened. Now, let me leave you with a mind-blowing fact, because for the first 45 years of my life, when I met people who were victims of domestic violence, every single one of those were women. Every single one of them. For some reason, half of them were Indian women. However, in the last 5 years, every single victim of domestic violence that I know now personally is a man. Think about it. That's how much things have changed in the last 5 to 10 years. So if you're a man living in America, think about the fact that you're a second-class citizen in many different ways, legal, cultural, and so forth and so forth. And you can't even say it. You can't even open your fucking mouth and say it like I'm saying right now. I can't be canceled. You can. You can be fired. A lot of stuff can be done against you, right? The false accusations. That is the reason to not live in a shithole of a country that America has become, unless things change. But to me, I don't even give a shit if things change. I'm already in a wonderful country where this would never happen. If you're a single guy and you're still dating, well, let me help you out when it comes to analyzing dating profiles. All you have to do is take snapshots of a dating profile of a girl you're interested in and upload it into this ChatGPT app called the Dating Profile Analyzer. It is free and it will give you all the green, yellow, and most importantly, red flags about that profile. You're welcome.